Okay, so what if I told you the one thing standing between you and the life that you want is not your circumstances? Hey y'all, if you're new to this channel, my name is Bobby. If you're not new, welcome back. And on this channel, we really just have conversations. So in today's video, as y'all can tell from the title, we're talking about brainwashing, reprogramming your mind into creating your reality. And we're gonna start this conversation off with a little bit of a big sis, little sis combo. So grab your drinks, grab your coffee, grab your food, popcorn, whatever. Let's get started. And so you guys know I do have my notes on my iPad, so I'm gonna be looking down every so often just to read it, but nevertheless. So like I said, the thing standing between you and the life of your dreams is not your circumstances, sweetie. But in all honesty, it's the fact that you've been arguing with your set beliefs and limitations every single day. Like if we seriously think about it, most people spend their entire lives brainwashing themselves into thinking that they're not good enough, they're not worthy enough, they don't deserve good things, not attractive enough, not talented enough, but then wonder why they aren't getting the same results as the next person that thinks the exact opposite. But it's because your mind is being programmed. You are programming your mind into thinking that you are less than. Thus, your life outside of that reflecting exactly that. Social media makes you think that you're less than. Your past, that one embarrassing thing that you cannot let go of, the fact that you did that 5 years ago and you think everybody cares, but literally nobody cared. And the question really is, why are you on that channel still? Who is really holding the remote, and why are you still allowing yourself to stay tuned into that channel? Because I'm telling you guys, when I started to intentionally living my life and telling myself every day that I am more than enough, everything else in my life changed. So a few years ago, giving y'all a little backstory, I was on a cycle, a repeated cycle, constantly telling myself that I was not good enough, just speaking so much negativity onto my life, constantly saying things like, I'm not ready, what if I fail? People like me don't get things like that. In all honesty, I used to say those things to myself because I've heard them, in all honesty. I've heard them from other people sometimes, and at that point in my life, when I heard that, it attached to me. And then I assumed it to be true. But then I had to really lock in and recognize that I am more than words. I had to recognize and look at myself in the mirror and realize I am the person in my life that made my life the way that it was. If I was unhappy about my career, my job, my car, my house, my anything, whatever I had going on my body, it was because of me. No one else is living in my shoes and walking the steps in my life like I am. I created the reality that I was living in, the one that I was unhappy with. So I decided to get in the driver's seat and actually lock into creating a better life for myself. So for me, that started off with listening to subliminals. I know for some people that's affirmations, journaling every day, just creating a consistent routine of knocking yourself off that negative feedback loop of constantly trying to feed negativity in your spirit. So whenever I would see things in my life that made me feel like I'm not good enough, I would intentionally then turn that around, and I would listen to subliminals that made me feel like I was better than. I would do something that made me feel like I was better than. So whatever the emotion that I was experiencing, I would do the exact opposite of that to then brainwash my mind into telling myself that I am not that anymore. In order to do this, I really had to pay attention to the way that I spoke to myself. So that's what I'm asking y'all to do. Just literally sit down, look in the mirror, just like recognize moments where you feel bad and you talk or speak bad things onto your life. So if you're driving around and you get to the grocery store and you cannot find a good parking spot and you're like, oh my gosh, now I have to park all the way in the back. Of course, like that's just the life I live. I'm always parking, I'm always having to walk far. Oh my gosh. Automatically, you're telling yourself that you, of course, deserve bad things. Of course, you didn't find a parking spot in the front because you don't deserve a good parking spot. Of course, you have to walk all these, like you have to walk so far to get into the grocery store and boom, it starts raining and pouring. Of course, because you expect negativity into your life. You expect your life to just be bad. But when you reframe that and you're like, I'm glad I get to park in the back of the store. I'm glad I even got a parking spot to get to the store. I'm glad I have to walk because I'm getting my steps in for the day. Switching the narrative and telling yourself that you are deserving of whatever is happening, even if it is negative, because you start feeding your mind a different story. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to just figure life out. And in all honesty, little by little, you become the person that you really wanted to be. Because little by little, for me, at least, once my self-concept started changing, everything else followed suit. So I feel like there was this point in my life where I was stuck. I was really just trying to figure out what was the disconnect between me and the things that I wanted for real. And I realized, okay, one, how I spoke to myself, my self-concept. I don't really like myself the way that I thought I liked myself. Physically, I was changing things about myself, but interpersonally, I felt like I didn't deserve things like I said before. And then I did those things to reprogram my mind and tell myself that I did deserve things I am better than. It is a slow and steady battle, but you're gonna get there, I promise. But the one big thing that I feel like is the game changer that this does for you is the fact that it shapeshifts your reality into recognizing that it's not you obtaining things into getting the results of the life that you want. It's really your identity and how your self-concept of yourself is actually the true life-changing thing that gets you the results. Most people focus on getting the relationship, getting the money, getting the big job, getting the big car, getting the big house, getting the dream life. But you have to recognize that the version of you that already has all these things that you want to obtain isn't thinking about getting anything because they already have it. They move differently, they make decisions differently. They don't spend all day wondering if they're even worthy of having the things. They already decided that they already have these things and that they already are worthy. The difference between the person that they are right now and the person that already has all these things is the fact that they just gotta go get it. And they're shifting from the idea of who do I need to become to get it, because they know they already are that person. And honestly, I hear it all the time, people making excuses about the fact that they don't have things or the fact that it is hard to reprogram your mind. And like, I've been doing these things for so long and I've been listening to these affirmations and doing X, Y, and Z, and why isn't it working? Because of the fact that confidence is not something that you just grow overnight. Trusting yourself is not something that you just grow overnight. If you spent years thinking that you're not worthy of something, it's about self-conditioning. Because in all honesty, confidence is not something that we're just born with. Depending on the degree of mistrust that you have within yourself, that's how long it's going to take to shake that. It's conditioning, it's repetition, it's identity shifting habits that create these results in your physical life. Because when you really think about it, everybody is being programmed by something, whether you like it or not. Some people have been lucky enough to be programmed to believe that they are capable of doing anything, and others just simply weren't. The difference between both of those stories is what they both have accepted to be true. So if you're going to repeat something to yourself every day that is going to alter through your brain chemistry, why not make it something that is motivational and helpful? Like I said, I listen to subliminals. I know people do affirmations, other things like that. But there's another simple exercise that you can do if that's not even up your alley. When you hit a roadblock and you feel like you're about to say something negative to yourself, or you are saying something negative to yourself and you're trying to switch that, stop asking yourself, what do you need to do now to make the version of yourself now feel better? Ask yourself, what does the version of you that already has these things, what would they do? Because you have to truly connect and align yourself with the version of you that already has the confidence, that already trusts themselves, that already gives themselves the permission to do anything they want. Simply the version of yourself that expects good things to happen constantly. And then once you start practicing being that person, you notice little things in your life slowly start to just uplift. And then you become that lucky person that you used to look across the room and be like, dang, they're lucky. Now that's you, girl. And it's not perfect. It doesn't happen overnight, but all you need is consistency. You don't just wait until you simply feel ready, because in all honesty, you're never going to be. You decide that you already are first. So in all, the biggest transformation in my life happened when I stopped treating confidence like it was a feeling and more like it was a choice. I simply chose to just believe in myself every single day, long before I had the proof that I could do it. I chose to trust myself before I felt ready, and I chose to become the person that I wanted to be, despite if the world confirmed it or not. Like I said at the beginning of this, your brain is always being programmed. So are you being programmed by default, or are you gonna take the wheel and be programmed by design? Now that is the end of this video here, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. If y'all wanna see more of me, like I always say, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in my next video.